This is Pokemon Amethyst, a fan-made sequel to Pokemon Platinum continuing the story with familiar characters, new regional forms, evolutions, and even original Pokemon. And let me just say, for a Pokemon fan game, there is so much content, including a huge region, crafting, and a really fun story and characters. The game was originally made purely in Spanish, but was translated by the absolute GOAT, Ryzen, so shout out to them and check out their channel. Unlike most Pokemon games, this one begins with a prologue, taking place 10 years after the events of Pokemon Platinum. So we choose our character and begin our journey as a literal child. Now, even though our character non-ironically uses the term Rizzler and Gyat, we still learn a lot about the events after Pokemon Platinum, where Team Plasma tried to destroy the world by capturing the 3 Lake Guardians, building the Red Chain, and enslaving both Palkia and Dialga, all for their leader Cyrus to be whisked away to the Distortion World by Giratina. However, even after the 3 legendary trainers stopped Giratina and saved Cyrus's life, the trouble didn't stop. Team Galactic had done irreversible damage to our dimension, causing ultra wormholes to sporadically develop across the region, wreaking havoc. Reflecting on his actions and realizing that he had harmed this world even more, Cyrus and the other leaders of Team Plasma admitted the error of their ways and decided to do some good. So Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and Cyrus all got pardons from the Sinnoh League and began working with Professor Rowan to fix the ultra wormhole issue. But that was over 10 years ago, because now we're just a small child growing up in Twin Leaf Town with our parents. And today is special. We're officially heading to the Pokemon School in Jubilife City with our friend Vector and his older brother Mistrio. And today, they might actually let us even use a Pokemon. But first, we have to drop something off to our father. Our dad is a former aide to Professor Rowan, now a full-fledged professor, working under Professor Cyrus, who just so happens to be Vector and Mistrio's dad. I knew Cyrus was supposed to be young in Pokemon Platinum, but it's kind of hard to imagine him as a suburban dad. To throw me for an even greater loop, Commander Mars, Perugly and all, is our teacher at Pokemon Academy. Didn't she try to kill children just a couple years ago or something? Oh well, I went to American schools, so let's not question child endangerment. Pokemon School with Teacher Mars is pretty fun. We get to try out using Pokemon for the first time, even if Vector is throwing a tantrum because he was only given a Burmy. But chaos begins to happen on the day of our school field trip. The plan was to take a trip to the Veilstone City gym to see Maylene, but right when we were about to get on the subway, a wormhole opened up. In fact, they began opening up all over the region at the same time. A mysterious group calling themselves Team Eclipse had kidnapped our father and Professor Cyrus. In fact, they were targeting all the former members of Team Galactic. Their goal was to recapture all the Lake Guardians, form the Red Chain, and take control of the legendary Pokemon at the top of Mount Coronet. Now, this plan probably sounds a bit familiar, but that's all calculated, because as all this chaos is going on, the former members of Team Plasma, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, and Cyrus are the prime suspects for this evil plot. So with dozens of masked villains already attacking our family, even our mother, who was a former master trainer from Unova, isn't enough to protect us from these bizarre regional forms. So Mars, our mother, Vector, Mistrio, and us had to flee to Sinnoh, leaving Saturn, Jupiter, Professor Cyrus, and our father behind. But all of that was 6 years ago, and our family has created a new life for ourselves in the Crystallis region. Now that we're 16, us and Vector, who's still a bit of a wimp, are setting out on our very own Pokemon journey. We need to get stronger so we can protect ourselves if any other danger follows us. Teacher Mars is now a full-fledged Pokemon professor, sending children out into the wild and putting them in more danger, so it's good to know that some things never change. But what has is that Mistrio is now her assistant, and both his childhood Ditto and Riolu are by his side. Wait, it's been 10 years and your Riolu still hasn't evolved? Isn't this supposed to be a friendship evolution? Is Riolu okay? Do we need to call Pokemon Protective Services? Well, who cares about that, because we're getting our first Pokemon and we have our choice between a regional Piplup, Chimchar, and Turtwig. Holy crap, are these regional forms adorable, and I thought I'd have trouble choosing, but on the other hand, Piplup just looks so cute in his coat, so say less! As always, I named my first Pokemon Chat after my livestream viewers, and all of the crazy new Pokemon I'm catching are also named after my viewers, so if you have a second, make sure to subscribe and drop by my next stream. In the meantime, Vector and us are starting our journey, only to run into this girl with an Eevee. She's not a very powerful Pokemon trainer, so her Eevee isn't listening to her, and ran off getting stuck in a cave. Now she's looking for any Pokemon trainer who can help her. I've only had one Pokemon battle against a clearly abused Riolu, but it's a great opportunity to get some more experience and catch some more Pokemon. Like this brand new regional bug, Buligori. He's cute in a kind of horrific way, but more exciting is an electric regional form of Rookidee. Corviknight is one of my favorites, so you know I had to pick this up. We happily caught our much cooler Wattrel, and my chat insisted on calling them Skibidi. Even though we just got our starter Pokemon Piplup, they're pretty powerful, so we were able to defeat the first couple of trainers and make our way to the beachside cave. Unfortunately, there's still no sign of Eevee, but we did find a rock surrounded by some loose ground, so we did the only thing that makes sense for a Spanish Pokemon game. Dance! Never argue with my methods again, Vector. Even though this girl doesn't really have a Pokemon outside of Eevee to protect her, she introduces herself as Alma and wants to go deeper into the cave. Eventually, we manage to find Eevee, but they're being attacked by an enraged Wugtrio, but Vector and I are able to take it out together. Oh wait, this Turtwig also looks really cute from behind. Eevee was injured by the Wugtrio, so we have to put them in their ball and take them to Mistrio as fast as we can to heal them, but wait, what's that? A suitcase? Was Wugtrio carrying a suitcase? Inside of it is a crystal, but why does it seem so familiar? That thought is the last thing we remember before waking up on the beach, the crystal drained of all of its color. By the time we caught up with Vector and Alma, Professor Mars had decided to give her a Chimchar, saying that if she became a better trainer, her Eevee would probably listen to her. For us though, it's time to set off our journey to take on the Pokemon League, so we bid farewell to our mom and set off to catch some more cool and dangerous Pokemon, including a Bullygori we named Maggot, a new fish with a steel hook for her nose called Minamai, one of those, and the most adorable little ground spider in the world. Oh my goodness, look at him. We're naming him Muffin and I'm gonna love him forever. No matter how much I searched though, I couldn't find this ice type Patrat because it's so adorable and I wanted to catch one for my own, but eventually I just had to give up. I never thought I'd say that about a frickin' Patrat, but that's how good this game is. Eventually we arrived in Hazelnut Town where we can sign up for the Pokemon League. Unlike other Pokemon regions, they don't just let anyone become an official trainer. We have to pass a specific test and get approved by the league. Pokemon are dangerous creatures after all, and not just anyone can raise them. The test consists of two parts. The first is a free-for-all mad dash into a Pokemon infested cave where we have to retrieve a specific banner. There are only a few of them, so the trainers in the cave have to battle each other over the limited supply. The second test involves a double battle against an Elite Four member? Our partner is Alma, and luckily this bald man promised he'd go easy on us. His Pokemon are crazy. He has a baby Kangaskhan, some sort of tree spirit, and well, a Stantler. Not every Pokemon he has can be a winner, I guess. And since we've won the battle, it means we're officially a Pokemon trainer and can start collecting gym badges. So we make a mad dash for the next town, all through a long and complicated forest filled with new Pokemon like Murlicum. Which I'm pretty sure is a pre-evolution of Heracross. Vector even tries to battle us, but I remember when he was crying over a Burmy, so he's no match. At the very least, it's a good warm-up for the first gym leader, who refuses to fight us. Okay, sure. This is Romero, and in addition to running the only restaurant in town, he's also a fairy-type gym leader. He's been refusing to fight any of the new trainers this year since, in his words, this generation of trainers just isn't worth his time, which is probably like the most boomer excuse possible to not do your job. Romero did give us a condition though. There have been a couple notable thefts in town, and if we can solve them and catch the thieves, he'll allow us to battle them. It's not ideal, but what choice do Vector and I have but to do his dirty work? As we were walking around town asking people questions about the thieves, to our surprise, everyone seems to have a pretty positive opinion of Romero. He wasn't always grumpy, they say. In fact, him and his wife used to run the restaurant together. They were deeply in love, and during their wedding, they even exchanged Pokemon. His Azumarill for her Granbull, which is his signature Pokemon now. But ever since she passed away, he's become distant, jaded, and overall pessimistic about the world. We even found their names carved into a rock in a hill that overlooks the town. Okay, well damn, maybe I feel a little bad for him now. Anyways, we managed to find the two thieves, but before we can apprehend them, they run into the city sewers, so it's time to get our hands dirty and battle some poison-type Pokemon. Since Romero is a fairy-type gym, I thought I should try and catch this little cutie. Oh, look at him! But that just wasn't in the cards for us. At least Vector and I managed to corner the thieves, who it turns out were members of Team Eclipse, the same team that had kidnapped our father and Professor Cyrus all those years ago. And to make things worse, they're using Pokemon I've never seen before. Is this a regional evolution of Sinistea, a Sinistage? And what the hell is a Mosquito? Even if we manage to get through those two Pokemon, they both have this sort of robot, a Mag V1G14? What kind of Pokemon is that? I thought they were just naming their Pokemon after genitals. Maybe this is a regional Glalie? Maybe this is a regional evolution of Magnemite? Either way though, it's a Steel and Psychic type, which means it's very tanky. We managed to win barely, but that's when we found out that those are only mag prototypes. They're not even complete. Luckily, Romero shows up and both goons make a break for it, and even though we failed to catch them, Romero says since we recovered the stolen goods, he'll still fight us. Okay, I'll admit it, he's growing on me a bit. Romero's gym challenge is meant to test our memory, where we have to work at his restaurant and remember— Wait! This is just him tricking us into free labor, goddammit! Either way, it's time for our battle, and for all the trash Romero was talking beforehand, he managed to back it up with a really tough battle. He led with Wolfwom, a redesign of a beta Pokemon that never made it into Gold and Silver, but were able to defeat it thanks to a 4 times effective Metal Claw. But then he led with Princess, his Grand Bull that his wife gave him so many years ago, and I have to say it's kind of a sweet touch that this game uses his Grand Bull's nickname. And it's less sweet that this fighting fairy bulldog powers through half of my team, and for their final Pokemon, it's a mother flippin' penguin fight! In one corner, Chat the Piplup. In another corner, Pinapito trying to newt us to death, but our starter prevails in the end, earning us our first gym badge, and that's where we stop. This was just the demo of Pokemon Amethyst, but it's already so much fun. Even though it's a demo, I had to cut out so much story and gameplay to make this video, so I highly recommend trying it out for yourselves and following both the development team and Ryzen who translated the game, because this game is looking to be one of the best ever moving forward, and have a nice damn rest of y'all's day.